Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Today we are going to do or continue my planner review as I prepare for the 2025 planner season. I am really excited to continue this process. Just as a quick reminder, I have some planner review inserts that are available to the channel members, and so they will be linked down below. But I started using these inserts in I guess maybe part 1 of this video, where I went over all of my planner needs, and this is that planner needs insert. This is what it looks like completed for me. So it has all of my reflections from the planners I've been using in 2025, what I need in a planner, what worked well for me so far, where I struggled, my improvements for 2026, and then I use the back of mine to list the planners I have and my intent for 2026 and the end of 2025. So that was the first step. And then the next step in this process is to actually take a look at those planners I'm currently having and write down any observations I have specific to that planner and any design or layout tips, because I'm in the process of reworking these planners for 2026. And I want to roll out my new layouts the end of 2025, so in Q4. So I need to do this now. Another reason why you want to start working on this now is that we are about to enter planner season for all the companies. So we're going to be bombarded with planners and planner options, and it's just a really good idea to know what works for you and what you're looking for the new year, so that you can buy what you need and you can be intentional about your purchases. So it's a good idea to go through this activity as soon as you can. Okay, so I'm just going to do a really quick recap about where I can make improvements based on what I think is going on with my planners. Simplifying my processes wherever I can. I want to kind of create more inserts that are more minimal in style and flexible with like labels and titles. And I'm going to try to avoid as much daily tracking as I can, just because that's a little bit overwhelming. I have found it to be overwhelming. So I'm going to stick with monthly and weekly level tracking, and I'm definitely interested in streamlining my goals. So those are my major goals for this these updates. So let's get into it. I have several planners that I need to review. On camera, I'm only going to review my core planners with you. And those are my 4 core planners, my core 4. I have my work planner, my reading planner, my catch-all planner, and my budget planner. And what I'm going to do is flip through these planners, and then I'm going to take notes over to the side about what I might want to change and any layout ideas. So this first one is my work planner. So I'm just going to label this here. And I'm using 2 boxes per planner. One for layout ideas, and one just for a checklist of things I need to do to get this planner updated. So we're going to move it to the side, and I'm going to kind of walk through and talk through this planner, how I have it set up, and where there's opportunities for me to improve the setup for 2025, 2026, the end of 2025 going into 2026. All right, so in my work planner, I pretty much use a vertical and an hourly. Now, the first part of my planner is what I call my annual section. It's where I have annual pages. I use a combination of a Catchall planner and a Work Plus Life. That's what I used in 2025. I liked both of them. I love the quality of Catchall Plan, and I like the simplicity of Work Plus Life. I can tell you now, though, all this extra stuff in the front, I need to take that out for the new year. That drove me crazy. I did not need like 2 name pages and all that good stuff. That was too much. Okay, so I don't need to write that down. I just need to not do that next year. The annual section of my work planner. This is where I put my annual prep work for my small business for the most part. I generally have my annual goals in here, content, strategy planning, quarterly planning, everything, content strategy planning, everything that I need to plan at an annual and a quarterly basis is in the front of my planner, because I should do that once a year, and then I do it every month. Now, I have a lot of blank pages in here because I changed this layout like the beginning of quarter 3, and I did that on purpose because it wasn't working for me. This is working much better, so I will keep this layout as we go into the end of 2025 into 2026. Everything about this annual section works. There's really nothing else that I need to change because I did go through the effort of changing this halfway through the year. So this is great. The only thing that is missing as I flip through this is I need to add my annual goals section. I do not have my business goals in here, and I need to change that. So that's the only thing that I see that I need to add. As far as any layout or style changes, the layouts are great. Like I said, I went through a huge remodel or redesign of these inserts the beginning of Q3, so I don't have a ton of redesigning to do. For 2026, I will probably streamline or change my floral pattern, or either just get rid of it because I just want it to be everything minimal. So I would say from a layout or design perspective, I'm just going to say review fonts and decor. I just want to make sure everything is consistent. Wow, so we have a little thunder coming, late afternoon storm happening. Not unusual for the summer. Okay, but that's the main thing that I will probably do for this planner, the annual section at least. All right, so when I get into my monthlies, I'm gonna look at July actually. When I get into my monthly section, I have in this planner, I keep 2 monthly tabs, and I will still do that in 2026 and in late 2025. That worked really well for me. I don't see myself changing it. The first tab was a hourly, so that I could keep track of my schedule. This worked well. Okay. However, I do think that I am going to use custom inserts for my hourly. So I do need to create custom inserts. This worked really well. This Work Plus Life hourly was fantastic for me. I did time blocking, which is what I need to do in my work schedule. However, the Work Plus Life planner, you guys, is a pretty expensive planner. And I just don't want to pay $50 for a happy planner when I can make my own hourly. So, well, they're not 50, they're like 40 some dollars. So out of my budget for that quality of planner, and I could just make my own. So, and when I make my own, I can kind of customize my my time per day. So I'm excited to do that. So I will be making my own quarterly inserts. Super excited about that. All right, so my content planning inserts is a Catchall Plan vertical. I absolutely loved the vertical for my content planning. And I like the Catchall Plan vertical because the quality of her paper is top notch. It's really unmatched when you're talking about disc bound planning. I also enjoyed the seasonal dividers. I didn't love them. I might want something a little bit more neutral for a work planner, but I can't beat the quality of her paper. So I'm in a little bit of a quandary here. This worked well, but my question is, do I need to pay $40+ for vertical when I already have a 2026 vertical that I could just pop in here? Or I could buy a vertical from Happy Planner for like a fraction of the cost for 2026. I don't know. What I will say is I will still be using a vertical for my content planning. I don't know if I will buy another Catchall Plan vertical and spend that money on that, or if I will just buy or reuse a Happy Planner vertical. I don't know. I will make that decision, but I am staying with a vertical, so I don't need to change it. At the end of my content planning, I also have custom inserts to help me prep for my content business for the month. So I redesigned these pages in Q3 of 2025, so I do not have to redesign these pages at all, or even change the flow. I think this works really, really well. So the only thing I will do is I am going to take out my quad. I mentioned this way back in June when I set up this planner for July to begin Q3. I wasn't sure if I still needed my quad pages and my monthly video schedules, right? And after using it for a couple of months in Q3, I don't need both. So I will be removing the quad pages. And that's a good thing, right? Streamlining, keeping it simple, keeping my process simple. So I think that is pretty much good to go for this planner review. Not much to change in the work planner, other than revisiting my decor for the new year and making sure all of my fonts and sizing and all of that stuff is in alignment. So that is it for the work planner. Okay, let us talk about the reading planner next. So let me make a note here. We are doing reading planner, which is really a journal, you guys. Okay, so I'm going to take notes over to the side. So in my reading journal, currently I am using a cover from Catchall Plan, white metal disc. Love this cover. It's really lovely. I liked the layout of this cover. I like the style and everything. Just about everything else in this planner though are custom inserts, with the exception of the weekly pages, the weekly journal pages. So in the beginning of the planner, I have my annual sections, which include my reading challenges. It's where I keep up with my some of my specialty pages, my, like I said, reading challenges, book of the month, wish list, my reader profiles, all of that good stuff is kept in the front. I love this. I will not be changing this. I do usually come in and update, like I might put in a new reading list. For example, for 2025, I think it was like the top 100 books of new classics, or classics in the 21st century. Are these all 2000? Let me see. Yeah, 21st century classics. Yes. So I will probably keep this because this is kind of a list that won't ever really change. And I still am working through this list. And then I also had like the complete list of Oprah's book club. So I will probably keep these as well. These are really good lists to have. So I'll probably keep those. And then I just have additional trackers. I don't see anything that I would change out of my annuals. So this looks really good. Then I get into my monthly. So in my monthlies, like I said, most of this is custom. I have a custom dashboard. I still like my dashboards. I designed these and I will probably stay with these. I might change the decor, but the approach will be the same. I have a monthly dashboard. I do want to update my monthly like overview dashboard. I spoke about this a few months ago. So I'm just making a note here. Basically, I saw Happy Planner's journal, reading journal, and it was cute. It was good. You know what I mean? But I like mine better. But what I did like from theirs is that they had a really tall stack of books that they used as their monthly reading goal. And I think that's going to work really well for my reading journal as well. So I'm going to add that to my monthly overview, and I'm going to streamline this just a little bit more because some of this information is kept in other places, and so I don't also need it on the reading overview. But redesigning this page is something that I need to do for the reading planner. This books to read, I don't think I like having this here. This will probably end up being a part of that monthly overview. So I'm going to put reorganize pages. To improve the flow a little bit. All right, so then I get into my calendar for July, which I did not decorate in July. If you saw some of my July flip throughs and my other planners, you heard me talk about how stressed July was for me. I just didn't even get a chance to do anything in this undated monthly. It was just too much going on in July. But anywho, I did get my books printed out and all that good stuff, so I will be able to come in and back plan a little bit, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to look at the flow. The monthly up front, going straight to the book championship, and then my weekly journaling pages. These are the only pages in here that are from Catchall Plan. The other pages are all pages that I have designed. Going into my weekly journaling pages, then I have another books to read and a series tracker. All that flow looks really good, but I am going to go back to designing my own weekly reading journal. I love these pages from Catchall Plan, but again, her planners and her journals are kind of expensive. Now, this reading journal was fairly affordable, if I'm being honest with you. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm pretty confident that I'm going to design my own. One of the main reasons is that most of the things on this page I simply don't use. Because I am not someone who tracks how many pages I read and the minutes that I read. I just don't do all that. And I could relabel this and make it something else, of course. I don't really do daily tracking. I spoke to you guys a little bit on my planner needs. Daily tracking is just not where I am right now. I don't even know what this rating key is used for, if I'm truthful with you. I do like the weekly bookshelf. So out of this whole page, what works for me really is the daily reading tracker, which I don't have to do that every day. I can go back and do that post. And then my reading bookshelf and the open journaling space. That's what's working for me. That's what's working for me. And that's not a lot. So it's tough to justify paying $30, $35 when the majority of the page doesn't work for you. So I just need to customize my own, and that's what I'm going to do. So that is going to be a large part of my monthlies. And then when I get into the back part of this planner, I basically have tracking sheets. These are all working really well. I don't see myself making any changes to these tracking sheets. I have loved using these tracking sheets. I love my reading wrap-ups. You do see here I have 2 different font styles, so I need to like get that type of stuff cleaned up. So I'm gonna put that as a note as well for this planner: review fonts and decor. The reason I have 2 different font styles is that I have 2 different planners on my Etsy. But when I print them for my own use, I just print whatever is available. But if you were to get this from Etsy, it wouldn't be 2 different font styles. You would choose whichever decor you liked. I think I had one that was kind of dark academia, like this one, and then I had one that was like spring flowers. And so that's the difference in font. Okay, so love these tracking sheets. I love my book review sheets. I don't see making any changes to these, except, okay, so I read a ton of romance, if you can't tell, but I also read some things that are not romance. So I will say in some of my book review sheets, they're very romance oriented. So I think I want to make a couple of book review sheets that are more neutral. So like this one is a book review sheet. It's very neutral, right? So we'll see how I make some adjustments, but I want to make some for people who read, you know, obviously things other than romance. And I do have that in here, but it doesn't look like this one. So I want to see how I want to approach that. I know I want to keep this one and I want to keep this. I just don't know if I want to duplicate or somehow merge, combine. We'll see. But that's something that I need to look at when I'm updating these planners. I also have audiobook reviews. And I have to tell you, I absolutely love my audiobook review sheets. They are great. I have thoroughly enjoyed these. So that will be staying. And I think that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. So that is reviewing my reading journal. So let's get caught up on where we are right now. I'm actually going to go ahead and use one of my markers for a highlighter. We have looked at the work planner. I don't have too many revisions that I want to make to my work planner, but I do need to review all my fonts and decor, update my decor for 2026, and review everything for consistency. My reading planner is very similar. I have some changes, more changes in the reading planner than I thought, actually. So I'm glad I did this flip through. And then I need to review my fonts and decor. So let me just do a quick highlight of these. Okay. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. So we have 2 more planners to get through, you guys. 2 more. The next one is my catch-all. This may take up the whole page. But then maybe not, because I have done some thoughts to this. Right? Like I'm writing this down, but this is the thing, right? This is how planning works. I have some thoughts in my head about what I want to do, right? This isn't the first time I've thought about this stuff. That's not how planning works. The way planning works is you're writing things down that you know you have to do so that you don't forget. Like, I've thought about this for weeks upon weeks upon weeks. The issue is I have like 10 different notepads with little notes here, little notes there. I have sticky notes in different places. I have stuff on my computer. I have stuff on my Canva. I have notes everywhere about these things. And I can't even remember where I've put some of the notes. So sitting down and organizing my thoughts and my ideas into one place and putting them in one place, that's what planning is. Right? So that's what we're doing here. So it's not going to take me forever to go through this because I have thought about this for weeks. So this is my catch-all. I use the parenting layout for my catch-all. I loved it. I am not changing it. End of story. But I do have a lot of sections in here that need to be updated because I do custom inserts for these sections. Now, a lot of these custom inserts were new for Q3, so I don't anticipate a ton of changes. So we're just going to go through each section. I have a projects and planning section. This is where I keep track of my pre-planning, and I use a one-page calendar for that, and then I have decor sheets. So pre-planning is looking great. I don't see any changes to this pre-planning. My projects space is where I list project sheets and my daily sheets, because I use my dailies as project sheets. I don't see any changes to that. Then my monthly, like I said, I use the parenting layout. I will not be changing it. So that will stay the same. And it has worked very well. So my next section is my wellness section. I have some changes to this section, you guys. Okay, so I am still going to keep the monthly for daily notes. I did 1 day of notes in July. I am still struggling with keeping track. This is not keeping track. This is me coming in, making notes about how I'm feeling each day. I think this is a good approach. I just haven't been able to execute. So I'm going to keep this approach moving forward into 2026. One of the reasons I'm going to keep this is that I am going to take my bullet journal, where I'm keeping personal journal information right now. I'm going to take that out of my lineup because it's just too much right now. So I still need a place to reflect, and I think this structure will still be a great structure. I just need to be more consistent with it. So I'm going to keep this. And then my wellness pages right now, I have these set up with an overview, a wellness wheel, a monthly tracker, a health and fitness tracker, and then I have daily tracking. So when I did my review of my planner needs, I put on here where I struggled for this year was with daily tracking and notes. The daily tracking, y'all, just doesn't work for me. So I am still going to leave this layout available for sale because a lot of people do need the daily tracking. I just don't. So I'm going to create an alternate layout. So the new weekly, I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but it's going to be a one-pager. And it's going to be for the entire month, more than likely. So 1 page per month, or either 1 page per week. We will see. I don't know yet. But where I have something that I need to enter per day, that's going to be just a little bit too much for me. So we're going to go to more than likely the 1 page per month is what I'm thinking about. And it's definitely going to have a habit tracker in here. It's going to have a to-do list, but it's not going to have the daily tracking. So that's going to be an update to the health and wellness inserts. Everything else I'm keeping. And I actually really like the layout and the decor of this. So I might keep this decor for 2026, or I might do something very similar, but it's going to look similar to this because I really loved this layout. So I'm keeping the wellness wheel. I'm keeping the glow up monthly tracker. I'm keeping the overview. I'm keeping the health and fitness tracker. I am keeping the weekly tracker. I am just going to make it one page. And for me, I'm taking out the daily tracking. So in the new version of this, I will probably have 2 options that you can choose from. And also health and fitness, I'm going to expand this tracker to include, to cover this entire page and move the habit tracker somewhere else. So we'll see how it goes. But those are the changes I'm making in my catch-all. So we're going to expand the health tracker. And we're going to simplify monthly tracking. I'm going to say monthly daily because that's what we're simplifying. I would say decor is still great. Maybe choose a new floral for 2026. I really love that soft floral though. That was so pretty. Okay. So let's take a look at leisure. Leisure is where I keep primarily my travel inserts and my specialty pages. So I'm still going to keep my specialty pages, and these change all the time. So there's nothing to review here. And I just created my travel inserts. Again, this is a new creation for quarter 3, so not much to change here. And it worked really, really well. I have a little bit of an annual section where we have vision board, a trip tracker. That's all I really have. And I think I have a travel bucket list. That's all I really have for my annual section. That will stay the same. And then I get into a travel set per trip. This just worked really well. I don't anticipate any changes here at all. I will say I really like this header. So this header right here, so that may become a header that I use in multiple places. This is good. Not very many changes to leisure and exploring at all. I will say a note about the header. Because I think I really like that design. Okay, so let's take a look at goals. So my goals section is probably going to have the most change. Why? Because you see here where I said goal setting and tracking was a place I struggled a lot with, and I need to streamline my goals. I struggled badly with my goals. I started off the year using some hemlock and oak supplemental sheets, and I think that was just too overwhelming for me. So I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to go with a new structure for goals. And again, I redesigned my goals structure in Q3, so I don't think I need to make too many changes from that redesign. But I have annual goals that go into milestones, that go into quarterly goals, and it's very simple. That's just 3 pages, not 10, just 3. And then I have long-term goals, and that with a goal reflection is pretty much it. But I do need to revisit my goals sheets just to make sure that this is as simple as I can get it. I also have my vision board. And then I have some more hemlock and oak. These are coming out. I am going to design, for my tracking, I am going to design a 1-page monthly tracking sheet for goals. It may be double-sided, but it will be 1 page. And it is going to have my goals and actions similar to what you see here. It is also going to have a habit tracker is not necessary, but I will probably put a habit tracker there. But it's going to have my goals and actions, and it's going to have a monthly goal check-in, and then possibly a place to reflect, and then a couple of habit trackers. And that is all that I'm going to have for the month. So that's going to streamline my goals very well. It's going to hopefully take some of the pressure off of me feeling like I have to come in here every day and do something with goals. That works for some people. It just doesn't work for me. So this is going to be a heavy lift on the streamlining and the redesigning. And I'm excited to get into it. Right now, as you can tell, I just have a hodgepodge of stuff. I have some of my own inserts from Hemlock and Oak, inserts from Happy Planner, and that's just too much. I don't need all that. I even have a whole goals planner from Kettle Plan. It's too much. I don't need all that. I just need to get this streamlined so that it feels better as I'm doing it. Okay, my soul section. Soul is, to me, kind of like faith, spirituality, memory keeping, it's all that good stuff. So these are inserts I redesigned in Q3, so I do not feel the need to do much here at all. I think all this works really well. It's a large section on my spirituality. So I'm pretty good with it. What I will do is I will add a monthly calendar in the front so that I can do my daily journaling just like I do on well-being. So I am going to add a monthly calendar. And I'm going to use it the same way that I'll use that well-being calendar. And that is just coming in and writing one thing per day. That's it. And then I have memory keeping. I use Lights Planner Action for memory keeping. I do not know if I'm going to keep this in here. I just haven't made up my mind yet. So... And that's because I am not into memory keeping like that for real. That's not how I use my planner. So I think I'm going to go ahead and make that decision. I'm going to remove memory keeping because I don't use my planner in that way. And you know what? I know a lot of people do in the planning community. For a lot of people in the planning community, that's the only way they use their planner. Like they decorate their planner and they go back and memory keep in it. Like they don't use it to plan. They use it for memory keeping. I don't memory keep like that. I don't. And I don't want to, truthfully. So this is just not where I keep memories. And don't get me wrong, I have a memory keeping journal. I bullet journal. I have travel journals. I have places where I keep memories. It's just not in my planner like that. So that's coming out. Then my Planner Joy section. This changes every month, so there's nothing to look at here. I will be keeping the Planner Joy section in my planner. So that's it. Okay, that was a lot. But that's one of my bigger planners, you guys. So it makes sense that that was a lot. All right, so planner needs. I feel good. I feel good based on my needs. So let's keep it rolling. The next thing we have is my budget planner. So let me adjust the camera because this is a big, so I want to make sure that you can see it. Okay, guys, so now we are going to go through this same process for my budget planner. And I will tell you up front as I look at this title page, so updating decor and font is going to be big. And also I want to go with a minimal look and feel. And I have a light decor option. Okay, so budget planner. It's set up very in a similar way as all my other planners. I have an annual section, and then I get into my monthlies. This is the one planner that that's like 95% completely custom. And in 2026 and the end of 2025, it will be 100% completely custom. But I start off with my 2-year calendar. That will stay the same. And then I just had some annual pages in here. I do not use these pages. I don't need these. They came with the planner, so I just put them in here. I have a dashboard. I definitely think I want to update the dashboards as I look at this. I want to keep the dashboards, but I need to update them. Have a dashboard. Then I get into a budget self-reflection, a year at a glance. So this is kind of getting into goals. So budget self-reflection, year at a glance. Then my annual goals, quarterly actions. So I have goal worksheets. So I need to streamline these goals pages. I just want to make this process a lot simpler than what it currently is. I have my annual financial snapshot. I'm going to keep that. I have my quarterly budget. This has been very helpful. I keep these. My financial snapshots are very helpful. My bill and subscriptions pages, necessary. I have too many of them. So my category worksheets, my category trackers, all that's necessary. Syncing and challenge worksheets, syncing and challenge envelopes, syncing and challenge savings. Okay, so these pages are related to my digital envelope system. What I need to do on these pages is to rename these pages so that they are more clear of how you're supposed to use them. So I need to rename my digi envelopes pages. I know how I'm supposed to use them, and I do explain this when I set up my budget, but it can be kind of confusing because the way we think of syncing and challenge, and I'm using it like a digital envelope, so I just need to relabel these. Long-term savings. I have a card tracker. I have a cash tracker. So the rest in the annual pages are trackers. All my trackers have worked really well. I do need to make sure that my trackers are accurate and just, they make sense. And what I mean by that, I have a tracker that has, I don't even know what the tracker is. Let's say it's a Christmas savings fund, and it has 16 icons on the page. Well, that's, who wants to divide their budget goal by 16? Like, that doesn't make sense. Why doesn't it have 20? Right? Like, I should have just put 20 instead of 16. So it's stuff like that. So I like all my trackers. I just need to go through and review them to make sure that they're doing what they need to do. And then I have some notes pages, checklist pages. They will still stay the same. They fall under, again, my tracker and specialty pages, and you just use these wherever you need them in your budget. Okay, so let's look at the monthly. This is the one part of this planner that is not custom, and that's because I'm using the Happy Planner tab. This will be custom for me in 2026 and the end of 2025. The reason I'm saying end of 2025 into 2026 is that I generally update my planners to the 2026 version in quarter 4 of 2025. So for the next year, I will update my planner the last quarter of the current year. That way, it gives me like 3 months to work out any of the kinks, to make sure everything is working, if I need to make any adjustments here or there. So I will be using the 2026 versions of these planners when I set up my new planner for quarter 4. And so the 2026 version of the budget planner will be completely custom, and all of this information will be, even the monthly will be a custom monthly. The dashboard will be a custom dashboard. I love this dashboard, but I'm going to use something else. However, going from the monthly to the dashboard right now, in this particular video, I'm checking layout, flow, and all of that. That flows really well. I like it. And then going into the budget, monthly budget, like that. I do need to make a decision on the paycheck and monthly cash flow. I think I want to include them both. And then you just have an option of which one that you want to use. So I think I like this, and I think I'm just going to include them both, and you can just use the one that you like. And then we get to the weekly. This has worked well. I will probably relabel the weekly, or put some type of note about this being digital envelopes. So I'm just making a note here. The expense tracker, I love the way that is still set up. That is the same per week. Let's see. The only thing that's kind of different is at the end, we have our monthly category tracker. That needs to stay. Do I need this reflect and celebrate? I have not used this once in this entire year. So I don't know what, I think I may redesign the reflect and celebrate, or take it out. So I think what happens is, right, like there's space to reflect on your goals in the monthly dashboard, and the new dashboard I'm going to use also has space to reflect on your goals. So I don't feel like I need both of these, right? I need one or the other is what I'm getting at. So I think this page may come out. The 30-day challenge, I put that in every month. This is a specialty page. This comes out of my trackers. I put these wherever they belong. But this is what I meant by having a tracker where you have like an odd number of icons. I have 16 suitcases here, 4x4. Like, come on. Why? I should have 20 or 10, 16, or even 15. 16 makes no sense. So, I need to update that. So it's little things like that. But other than that, that's it. Those are the only changes that I see that I need to make for this budget planner. It looks really good. Design wise, I don't know what design I'm going to go with for look and feel. I know I will have a minimal version, and I might have a light decor version. I don't know. This is what I would call light decor though. Light decor has the, colorful font for the headers, and it has this really pale gold, very neutral, but very pale gold floral. It's not overwhelming, but it is something. A lot of my planners that are specialty planners or even specialty inserts, I find it helpful to have some type of built-in decor because a lot of people don't decorate their budget planners. I don't decorate my budget planner. I decorate the monthly, and that's all. So having a little decor built into the planner, I find that to be very very motivating to me. It makes my planner look a little bit better, and I don't have to worry about decorating it. But then on the flip side of that, it gets to feel kind of repetitive and heavy if that's what you see every month. So, you know, so that's what I mean by I don't know if I will have that for this year. I might stick with the color font, and that's about it. I think that's probably what I'm going to do. So I think I've made up my mind. I think I'm going to keep the color font and take off the decor, except for the dashboards. Okay. All right. That's it. That's my review. Okay, so this is my budget planner. Here are my review pages. I have done this for my core planners. My specialty planners, I will probably not need to do this, but I have done it for the core planners. So let me go ahead and highlight this. And then let me highlight this budget planner. And we're good to go. So if I look at my inserts, this is what I have. I have Catchall planner, budget planner, Catchall layout ideas, budget planner layout ideas, work planner layout ideas, reading planner, and reading layouts. I have now gone through all of my core planners. I have compared it with my planner needs. I've made some adjustments or some notes about some adjustments that I need to make. And I am ready to start preparing for end of 2025, 2026 planners. What does that mean for me? That means I can now de-stash the planners I've been collecting all year, because I know what I'm going to use the next year. I know what I'm going to need. I have an idea of what I might buy. The only planner that I might buy this season is a Catchall Plan Vertical. I'll have to see what her styling looks like, and if it's something that I'm interested in enough to pay the higher rate. If not, I'll just make my own. Other than that, I'm really not in the market for a new planner. I am in the market for new accessories, new covers, new discs, new dividers, new dashboards. Those are the types of things that I will be stocking up on the end of the year. So doing this has given me some guidance and some intention when planner season hits really hard and we're all motivated to buy things. I can now make a very clear list of what I want to buy and what I need to buy to make my planning better, intentional, and functional for the next year. And that's why you go through you take the time to do a planner review. You take the time to think about what you will need the next year. That's why you do that. And that's what this process has allowed me to do. So I can de-stash my planners now. Yay. I can make purchase lists now. Yay. And I can start working on creating these inserts that I need. Super yay, because I got to get that done ASAP. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. These inserts are available to channel members, linked down below. Please join our community. I'm so excited to have a community on YouTube and to start interacting and being more engaging with each other in that community. So thanks so much for watching the video. I hope you have a happy week planning.